Thanks to Corwin Motors for sponsoring the Keeping Score podcast. At Corwin Motors, they're proud to be family-driven for over 100 years. Their commitment goes beyond selling cars. They're dedicated to serving our community and providing you with the highest quality vehicles to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're searching for reliability, style, or comfort, they got you covered. They understand that you rely on their website for accurate and up-to-date information, and it's their promise to deliver relevant, detailed content that meets your needs. So if you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or just want to learn more, visit CorwinMotorsKalispell.com. Welcome, everybody, to the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. I am your host, Josh Amick. The spring season ended last week, but I was traveling across country. So this episode, I'm going to recap the highlights from the state tournaments you might have missed from baseball, softball, track and field, and tennis. And then next week, we'll focus on American Legion baseball and how their seasons are currently going. So without further ado, let's get into this week's highlights that you might have missed. We're going to kick things off with track and field since it was right down the street at Legends Stadium, and a lot of local athletes went home as the best in state. At the state AA track and field meet Friday, Hollensteiner finished a lap around his home track in 47.22 seconds. To say he won his second straight 400 title is an understatement. Leading an 8-pack of runners under 50 seconds, he shattered an 8-year-old all-class record in this event. His previous personal record was 48.10 run at the Archie Rowe Invitational on May 3rd. Last week at Divisionals, he false started Friday. He was unbeatable. It was an impressive race for the Braves. Flathead senior Lane Shivers was second in the 47.99. Ben Bliven took fifth, running 49.67. And the 400 accounted for 20 of Flathead's 34 points run through 9 events. Glacier, with Owen Steele winning the 3200, was second at 34.5. Aside from field, Glacier got big points in the shot put, where Will Astle hit a PR of 53 feet, 3 inches to lead a 2-3-4 Wolfpack finish, with Ben Winters and Dylan Smith finishing second, third, and fourth, and Easton Kaplitz placing fourth in the javelin. Lauren Bisson's win was big in the 3200 for the Wolfpack. So was Brianna Barnes' pole vault title. The senior cleared 11.6, a PR, and won the event for the 10th time in 12 meets this season. Barnes is the first girls vault champion from Glacier High. The pack also got 6th place in the 400 from Carmen Eddy and Alyssa Vollenstern, and Daisy Benkelman went 4 and 5 in the 800. Allie Kruger was 5th in the shot put. Jaden Pepe took 3rd in the high jump. Hollensteiner was impressive on the boys' side. Olivia Reinhardt shined on the girls' side. Reinhardt set 1 all-class record and 2 AA marks, while the Flathead boys also surged to their first team title since 2015 on Saturday. Reinhardt started her day by going over the 100-meter hurdles in 14.06 seconds. That broke the 12-year-old all-class record of 14.11. She didn't slow down much after that, lowering the Class AA mark on 300 hurdles to 42.07 and blazed to the 200 in 24.54. Reinhardt finished the day with 3 state title records. The team race came down to the final event, the 1,600-meter relay. The Braves needed to stay within 1 place of Helena High and had to do it without Bliven, who was hurt while finishing second. Coach Dan Hodge had decided he needed to rework the long relay. Hodge went with senior Cameron Wells, who ran the first leg. Lane Shivers moved from the first leg to the third. Helena led the first lap and was 4 places ahead of Flathead when Shivers took the baton from Kason Kastner. Lane had some work to do, but his 49.5-second split moved the Braves up from 6th to 3rd. Then came Hollensteiner, who had Helena's anchor in his sights. His split, according to Hodge, a blistering 45.93 seconds as he passed Helena's Henry Son on the back straightaway, and then incredibly kept closing the rest of what had been a 50-meter gap with Missoula Big Sky's anchor and passed him for the lead at the very end of the race. Flathead finished with 88 points to Helena's 81. In Class A track and field, it was the Whitefish Bulldogs who came out on top with the help of Rachel Wilmot and Grace Slyman. Wilmot completed a sprint sweep, and Slyman won the high jump Saturday with a personal record as Whitefish claimed the girls' team title, their first since 2002, and their 6th overall. Whitefish's other big gun was senior Simon Douglas, who won Saturday's 800, and on Friday, he was second in the 1600. Whitefish scored 40 points to finish 5th in the boys' team race. Columbia Falls, with the help of Jack Phelps, took 2nd in the 100 and 4th in the 200, and as a team finished 4th with 55 points. The Wildcats also picked up a win with Lane Bormans in the discus on Friday. Moving on to softball, you can never question the heart of the Wolfpack. Olivia Warriner hit 2 walk-off singles, 3 home runs, including a 7th-inning grand slam of the second championship game against Billings Senior, and Glacier won 3 times Saturday to claim its second State A title in 3 years. Warriner started off the morning with an 8th-inning walk-off single as the Wolfpack bested Billings West 7-6 in a rematch of their first-round game, which the Golden Bears won. She did it again in the 7th against Senior in the first game of the championship, giving Glacier a 13-12 victory. The Wolfpack needed 8 innings again in Game 2, but a Kaczmarkowski sacrifice fly ahead of Warriner added an insurance run with a single that scored Nakia Persinger, and the Pack won the if game 17-15. 4 runs in the 6th gave the Bronx a 12-10 lead before the 3 singles loaded the bases for Warriner in the top of the 7th inning. She knocked one over the left field fence to give Glacier a 14-12 advantage. Taylor Vivian drove in one more run on the RBI groundout, and Glacier needed just 3 outs to win the game, but Senior tied it up at 15. In the 8th, Ronkowski stepped in after a Kristen Terrell walk, and Persinger doubled and flied to left deep enough to bring in Terrell and gave Glacier the 16-15 lead. Warriner then laced a grounder through the left side and brought in Persinger to extend the lead 17-15. Olivia Gibbons stepped back into the circle and retired the Senior side in order to send Glacier home with its 3rd piece of hardware in 3 years and 2nd title. In baseball, a walk-off walk ends the Columbia Falls baseball dream of 3rd place at the All-Class State Baseball Tournament on Saturday. Brady DeMoss held off on a 3-2 count and drew a 7-pitch free pass to bring in the winning run for Hamilton in the 9th inning of a loser-out game. After losing the tournament opener, the Wildcats fought back to get to the podium, but came up just short and finished the season with an amazing 18-3 record. In tennis, the Whitefish boys won the state title on the backs of Jack Olerich's 2nd place and fellow singles player Owen Erickson's 5th place finish piloted the Bulldogs to the team title with 21 points. Leading the way for the Bulldog girls was Maggie Mercer and Camry Kelch, who finished 3rd in the girls' doubles competition. Lizel Brush finished 5th in the girls' singles, and as a team, the girls took home a 3rd-place title with 20 points. For the Class AA Wolfpack, the boys placed 2 6th-place individual performances with Sam Englert and Carl Bittney and finished 6th overall as a team. Some hardware was passed out last week as well, with Poston and Columbia Falls, the 2 teams that rule the top of the Northwest A Conference, each having 4 softball players selected to the All-State team in the voting by the league coaches. Liz Cunningham, Samantha Reinsfold, Olivia Jor, and Sierra Perez were first team and thus All-State picks for the 19-7-1 Lady Pirates. Columbia Falls, which went 3-2 at the State A tournament, finished the season 18-8, had Annika Reed, Taylor Lingler, Addie Bowler, and Annika Lawrence all finished with All-State honors. Reinsfold, Lingle, and Lawrence were All-State for the 2nd straight season. And with Annika Lawrence still having 2 years of eligibility, she has a chance to make All-State in all 4 years played on the Wildcats softball team. Pretty impressive. For the Class AA awards, the Glacier Wolfpack had 6 players named All-State by the Western AA softball coaches this week. That's 1 Glacier player for each of the victory they needed at the State AA tournament. Seniors Olivia Gibbons, Cass Roundkowski, Nakia Persinger, and Aubrey Gerber, along with sophomore Olivia Warriner and freshman Ava Grady, all received first-team All-Western AA recognition. Kristen Terrell and Carly Allen made the All-State 2nd team. Flathead's Mackenzie Brandt and Olivia Nyman were All-State selections as well. Brandt, a senior outfielder, hit .317 and led the Bravettes with 8 home runs and 21 RBIs. Nyman, a sophomore shortstop, hit .327 with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs. She was honored as a utility player. Catcher Reese Conley was an honorable mention. Elsewhere, Flathead's Dan Hodge, Matt Beck with the Whitefish, and Glacier High's Abby Snipes are among those who were honored as Coach of the Year for their respective spring sports by the Montana Coaches Association. Hodge and Beckwith won state titles as track and field coaches, and Snipes earned her honor as the Wolfpack softball coach. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. I want to thank everyone for their patience as I was traveling cross country and missed you all last week during a very important week. But I want to congratulate all the teams and all the players who found success in those state tournaments, and it was great to be a part of it this year. We'll see you all next week on another episode of the Keeping Score podcast. Until then, take care.
A fire that broke out on a cold and dark February morning in 2024 sent the small northwest Montana town of Noxon reeling. Beginning in the Angry Beaver General Store on Noxon Avenue, the conflagration would eventually claim a neighboring restaurant and a storied bar. The town had lost 3/4 of its business community by the day's end. 7 months after the fire, people were still wondering, will Noxon recover? Can it mount a comeback? What will rise from the ashes?
Stream Season 3 of the Daily Interlakes Deep Dive podcast on your favorite audio platform, or catch the 2-part series on our YouTube channel.